For example, data analyst is data analyst and business analyst and data consultant, data engineer. They are all people who specialize with, um, especially let's say data analyst. You can consider data analyst as someone who does two things. In certain companies, the name data analyst is generally used to people who do data entry, right? Who basically look at data and fill data entry. In certain companies, the word data analyst is also about someone who does some kind of dashboarding, who looks at dashboards and who performs some SQL querying and does some kind of data dashboarding and builds reports and things like that. So that person is also called as a data analyst at times. Data analyst as a terminology is generally also used to someone who performs some kind of very preliminary root cause analysis, meaning looking at logs and then trying to understand what is happening inside logs, automatically trying to monitor logs continuously and seeing what the error is and things like that. So is the work that a data analyst generally does is like slightly more manual in nature. um, Business analyst, on the other hand, again, the term business analyst is also very similar. A lot of companies have the term business analyst. Uh, Business analyst, program manager, business analyst is also similar to data analyst. They also do similar stuff. They do some basic dashboarding, charts, presentations to customers about products and things like that. So that's what business analysts also do. Data engineers, data platform engineers, big data engineers, these are all people who are responsible for, or big data architects, data architects are people who are all responsible for moving data from one place to another place. So they are responsible for ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading, right, of data. They don't generate insights. They are the ones who bring data to you. They bring the data and they store it somewhere. They do data pipelining, moving data from one place to another place, moving data from, let's say, application systems to, let's say, enterprise data warehouse. That's what they specialize in. Big data engineers or big data architects are people who work on large volumes of data and let's say build Hadoop clusters and move data continuously into Hadoop clusters and things like that. That's essentially what a big data engineer is all about. Um, what you and I do is called as data science. And if you're looking out for profiles, look for the term data science in the role. In most cases, it is referred to as data scientist or machine learning scientist or machine learning engineer or AI specialist and things like that. So the roles that you might want to look for is data scientist, ML engineer is not our role. I mean, is not a pure play data science role. Not a pure data science role. Um, data scientist is a pure data science role, or let's say AI specialist or data science specialist, or a ML machine learning specialist, and things like that. So again, different companies have different names. I think we are 90% of the cases we're looking at data scientist as the name of the profile. Right? Data scientist, junior data scientist, senior data scientist, principal data scientist, and things like that. And data science lead, data science team manager, and things like that. So for freshers, you're looking at data scientist, junior data science roles. And for some people who are slightly experienced, you're looking at data science or senior data science roles. I would not suggest you to get into a senior data science role, because senior data science role expects you to have prior experience in the field of data science. So senior data science role is a very risky role. I mean, I know most of you might already have had experience in other IT sectors, but it's not probably directly possible to move into a senior data science role or a team lead data science. It's the general movement is moving into an individual contributor role and then moving into data as a lead or as a data science lead or a data science manager. Um, so irrespective of the amount of experience you have, I think personally it is suggested to move as a individual contributor because you need to learn how data science works. If you move in as a manager, I don't think we will be able to gain enough respect from our team. Um, I think you have to be hands-on as a data scientist to appreciate the work that your team does. Um, so that's how I would suggest, and that's the general thing as well. Even in my org, I don't see people directly moving in as a manager from a completely random role. No, that's not that never happens. Um, data People who are actually eligible data scientists with good amount of experience become data science managers, or data science leads for that matter. Okay. So yeah, that's more or less it. I have a few resources for a couple of more questions that I've put down here. So feel free to look into those. Um, I will share the PowerPoint presentation with you all. Don't worry about it. And then we can and yeah, and you could refer back to this whenever you want. So I'm going to hold here. I'm going to stop my monologue here, and I think I'll open up for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So the ones who would want to leave, I'm more or less done with my session here. Whatever I had to talk about, I've completed. So if you want to leave, feel free to leave. The ones who would want to stay back and ask questions, you can stay back and ask questions. I'll be here for the next 15 minutes. Oh wow, okay, questions are pouring in. I have 7 years of teaching experience. My field was data science. My friends said that okay, so 7 years of teaching experience. I just wanted to know if it is technical or non-technical. I'll assume it's non-technical or irrelevant. If it is relevant, then that is cool. If it is a relevant computer science-based experience, then that is cool, because then in that case, I mean, then a computer science, or let's say some kind of experience that is related to data science, something that is related to computer science, you can always say that as a teacher, you've been associated with data science, and then you can move into the field of data science. Or I'm assuming you've been associated with the field of data science, hence you can move in. In general, your friends, right? I mean, experience always helps. Having more experience gives you a chance of moving into the field of data science. So look back if you can identify some of the projects or some kind of work that was done by, let's say, your students early on, if that can be used for your data science, that can be used to beef up your data science profile. So yeah, I think that's how I'd like to look at it. The only way to move into the field of data science is by doing enough projects. Do enough projects, have enough relevant work. That's when you can move into the field of data science, irrespective of whatever background you move in from. I moved in from teaching myself. I've been a mechanical engineer myself. This is a generic statement to everyone, guys. I think the one best way to move into the field of data science is by showcasing projects. People do not mind data science teams don't mind variety. I mean, it's okay to have variety within the team. It's okay to have people who come from different backgrounds. So in my team, I have somebody who's come in from, let's say, teaching. I have someone who's come from a teaching background. I have someone who's done an MBA and then moved into the field of data science. I have somebody who's done a PhD in Sanskrit and has moved into the field of data science and things like that. So diversity is always appreciated in the field of data science. But I think what you need to understand is the only way to move into the field of data science is by showcasing enough projects in the field of data science. If you do not have enough projects that you've done in the field of data science, and if you've just done a course and you've decided to straight away move into the field of data science, I'm afraid there is no way of doing that. So irrespective of how much experience you have, I think the best way to do it is to yeah. So and you're also saying that yeah. So and the only way that you want to do it is that by making sure that you have enough projects that you worked on previously. So I hope I've answered your questions, Mareshwara. How to prepare for hands-on round? So yeah, Rashmi, again, the only way to prepare for your hands-on rounds again is go to Kaggle.com, and on Kaggle.com you have something called as Kaggle kernels, Kaggle datasets and Kaggle kernels. Solve problems, get a feel for it, and you will be able to pick it up. I mean, you'll be able to you'll be able to um, learn how to solve a data science problem right from scratch. How to do exploratory analysis. Practice is the only way. I'm afraid there's no shortcut to this, Rashmi. I might sound very stereotypical in answering this question. How do you prepare for your hands-on round? Solve a problem. Solve a problem from end to end. When I say end to end, what I mean is loading the data all the way until evaluating the model. Solve one problem all by yourself, right? Take help from internet, take help whatever you want. But I think if you're able to solve that particular problem, take it as a challenge and solve that problem. That will give you so much learning than attending to, let's say, 10 hours of video lectures or anything. So solve the problem all by yourself. So much value in just doing that. From an interview standpoint, I think if you want to prepare yourself for some interviews, what you can look for is visit a website called Codility, Codility, Codility.com. It has some Python tests. These are not data science tests; these are Python algorithmic tests. So algorithm and data structures tests, you can attend those. Codility, Codility is a website. Similarly, there's a lot of other websites as well. Codebase, Top Chef, and Top Coder and things like that. So you can use Code Chef. You can go to any of these websites and they will be able to. They have a lot of tests in those websites, so you can just attend those tests. These are not data science tests. Again, let me tell you, these are regular Python programming tests. Yeah. If you want data science preparation, then I think data science Python preparation, then I think the only way to do it is take a data set, take a problem statement, solve it, and build a classification algorithm or build a regression problem end to end. That's your best practice for it. Yeah. And one of the resources for it is visit Kaggle.com, and then under Kaggle.com you have something called as Kaggle kernels. With Kaggle kernels, they're already pre-written code, and you can use that. You can copy paste it, or you can use that code, or you can get inspired from that code and write your own code, or however. Cool. Okay, Milind, I have a mechanical engineering background and worked in the IT in the beginning of my career. Later, I have okay, cool. 9 years. In which of these roles do you think I fit, or should I be aiming for? Where do I begin from? Yeah, so Milind, again, I just said your years of experience are going to come in handy. So whatever may be the family-run business, I'm sure you do maintain accounts. I'm sure there is some data that is available. And I'm sure there is some kind of analysis that you can perform on that particular data. You perform that analysis and then try and use that as one of the projects that try and use that business of yours to your benefit. Meaning, do some analysis on it, and then I think that's where your logical progression is. You've done your analysis on your on your family-run business. You've done some data analysis on your family-run business. That's why you were interested in the field of data science and you'd want to move into the field of data science. That's essentially the logical progression that you'd like to show. Secondly, which role should you be aiming for? I think still open at this time. Don't go in for a junior data science role. You're not a junior. I mean, you have 9 years of experience. 9 years you've been running your business and you've worked in IT. So a data scientist role is what you're generally looking at. Data scientist or senior data scientist role. Try to get into startups because they give you that extra leverage to move into the field in a much easier way because they tend to give you a nice doorway, an easy doorway to move into the field of data science. So I would generally suggest you to try out startups. If large organizations are difficult, try startups. So yeah, I mean, I think that should be That should be your idea. Move in as a data scientist, but I think aim at smaller companies. What you're looking for, again, this is something that I'm going to talk to everyone about as well. See, at this point, to sound a little harsh, I think we're not in a situation where we can pick and choose from, right? We want to take whatever comes our way. And I think one best way of looking at it is you're looking at a doorway to enter the field of data science. That's how I made my entry as well. That's how most data scientists have made their entry into the field of data science as well. We're looking at a doorway of entry. That means a small company is also good enough for me to make that entry into the field of data science. So small, big doesn't matter. Make that entry. We'll figure out once you're in. Once you gather the experience of a year and a half, then you've understood the field yourself. Then you know what field, what direction you'd want to progress in, and things like that. So, yeah. The other thing is, if you're moving into the field of data science, be ready for continuous learning. This is not a learn once, apply many kind of a field. This is learn once, learn many times, and apply many times type of a field. At this point, because it's actively developing. So, Milind, hope that answers your question. I think aim at a data science role, move into, even if it is a small company, move in. I think that's the best way of taking that leap of faith. Attend as many interviews as you can. Attend as many interviews as you can. I'm sure you'll be able to, break through something. Yeah. Okay, how to search for roles and get attention through resumes. I think as far as your resume thing is concerned, I think they're going to talk about how to build your resume and how to make your resume attract about it. I probably am not the right person to talk about how to build your resume and how to make a resume attractive, or rather to grasp attention. Things that I can tell you is, for recruiters, I think what they're looking for is those tick marks that I mentioned earlier. You basically need to have those in your profile. They kind of help in establishing credibility on your profile. So some kind of previous project, technology stack, that is good enough to get some eyes laid on your profile. Okay. In learning data science, and I have experience of 3 years in finance, and academic background is of finance. Which role is suitable for me? Yeah. So the thing is, Humaira Hassan. So I think the point that you have to understand is data science in general is also domain specific. So you can apply for these. I said you can apply for these captive in-house data science teams, which let's say product development teams, which specialize in financial products. So there are a lot of companies which are building financial products, financial apps, not just stock brokerages, algorithmic trading, not only in that direction, but also in general financial solutions for large organizations. So you can work in these financial companies or companies that are specific in the financial industry. Like, for example, there's Broadridge, there's EY's financial team, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of companies. A lot of companies have specialized. D Shaw, for example, right? They are a financial services company themselves. So these companies are quite popular in their own market, and I think if you become a data scientist and if you learned enough about data science, I think your financial background your previous financial experience is going to financial domain experience is going to come in handy in moving you into any of these fields. So I think that's how you'd want to look at it. Okay, and given that your academic background is also in finance, that really helps. So it's definitely worth moving in that particular direction. I have around 11 years of experience as a DBA, presently working on Oracle. So is it easy to switch to the data scientist career? Yeah, I mean, you're a database analyst, you're a DBA, so database admin, and I think it's a logical progression for you, Deepak, because you already understand the data world well. yes, you have good amount of experience as a on the data side. So moving in from that side of the world into a data scientist is one possibility. You can do that, yes. Uh, but I think one of the roles that might really interest you is this role, right? Is this machine learning engineer role that I mentioned. The responsibility of a machine learning engineer, and there is machine learning engineer as a role that is also coming up quite frequently. Quite abundantly in most of the organizations. The responsibility of an ML engineer are these: one, know some amount of data science; B, understand data platform, the meaning he or she is responsible for moving data from one place to another; C, make sure that you scale your models very well and deploy models. So I think your experience as a DBA or already gives you an edge in terms of understanding how to move data from one place to another place. So data pipelining is something that you understand. So you could become a ML engineer who understands both, right? Who understands both sides of the coin. So you can also try aiming at that particular role, which is basically a cusp between data science and DevOps, and data science and not only ops, data science and data platform. It's more or less a cusp between these two. Okay, you can try that as well. If your heart is in data science, I mean, it's a logical progression. You can definitely explain it saying, I worked in as a DBA for 12 years, and I worked on out of which X number of years where I worked on data science projects as a DBA. Hence, I'd like to move to the field of data science. So that's essentially your story. It's a logical transition for you, I think. So I wouldn't think too much about it. Yeah. Okay. So if you have experience in SQL for 2 years, then should we apply for a fresher as data science? So yeah, I mean, irrespective of the amount of experience that you have, you're not going to be considered as a fresher. I mean, you're a fresher in data science, but in general, your salaries and everything will more or less be kept intact. So don't worry about that. When I say you're going to move in as a fresher in data science, it's just that you're a fresher in terms of skill set. That's about it. But your salaries will more or less remain. So yeah, so I think, I mean, 2 years is not a lot. I think I should apply as a fresher to data science. I mean, apply for junior roles, junior data science roles. That's where you'll be able to move in, right? Junior data scientist or associate data scientist roles. That's what will work for you. I'm a data and system consultant, now moving into data science. Do you have any good books or blogs to further enhance skills? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of content online. I don't know what kind of content you're looking for. If you're looking at specific data science content, there are a lot of good books that are there. I think I think a few good courses are also available for you to take up. I would suggest you to reach out. So, for example, from a books standpoint, right? There are we have O'Reilly's book on cookbook on data science cookbook with Python. O'Reilly has a book. I think that is a good book for you to start with. Um, and then I think there are numerous such books. There's so many books that are available outside today. Pick up any book and run with it. So I honestly speaking, blogs, right? Yeah. So there's a blog called as Towards Data Science. Follow that blog. It's a very, very popular blog, Towards Data Science. TOWARDS Data Science, DATASCINCE. Very good blog. It's primarily around data science. You have something called as R bloggers. There is a website called as blog called as Machine Learning Mastery, and all these are very good. Very good. So I'll repeat: Machine Learning Mastery. Uh, what's the other one? Machine Learning Mastery is one blog. R bloggers is another blog. KDD Nuggets is another blog. Um, you have Towards Data Science as another blog. So these are good, very, very good blogs, very popular blogs. You can follow them. They're really very useful in terms of doing your data science scouting around. Yeah. I'm going to take a few more questions before I wind up. We're on top of the hour. So I can see in India generally freshers jobs are less in data science, and that's not true, Deepak. I think you just have to search enough. There are enough roles for people with 1-2 years experience. So I think we should have see if you're a fresher, I think you should also. I would also suggest you to be ready with moving and doing some kind of basic internships as well. Do some internships and move in. Find any doorway, right, and moving into the field of data science. But I don't think the roles are very low in data science in India. Bangalore has got a lot of roles. Gurgaon has got a lot of roles. Pune is now opening up with a lot of roles. Hyderabad, of course, has roles. So yeah, I mean, don't have any restriction in your location, and I'm sure you're going to find roles. So yeah. How many projects do you think should be good enough for applying for this role? At least two. Do at least two projects. I mean, two projects and a few, one or two Kaggle projects. At least two projects, Sumil. Yeah. Yeah. How's the future for data science? Nice and rosy, Rashmi. So trust me, there's nothing to worry about at this particular point. How is the future for data science? Data science is cool. Data science is here to stay. Trust me. Yeah. It's not a technology which will vanish in a day. It's a field of science. When was the last time? Does SAP have a master's degree course? SAP is a technology. Or let's say, does Python have a master's degree course? No. Data science has a master's degree course. What does it tell you? That it's a field. It's a science. It's here to stay. So it will evolve. Python will go. Something else will come. Python will go. Something else will come. R will go. Something else will come. So tools will change. But the field of data science is here to stay. So yeah. Currently applying senior data science architect and learning R, Python. Senior data architect. Okay. Yeah, you could apply for a senior data scientist role, Dwarangnath. So data scientist or a senior data scientist role is open for you. I think you can try that. Yeah. Again, it depends on your interest. If you're interested in data science, and because you seem to be having enough experience on the data side already, so the question is, there's also a role called as AI architect in certain companies, which basically means you will remain to be a data architect, but you will be inclined and aligned towards the data science a little. So you might want to look for those roles as well. But in general, I think as an individual contributor, you can apply for a data science role, data scientist or a senior data scientist role. You should definitely be able to move in there. Yeah. How do we show project experience through Kaggle problem solving? Yes, absolutely yes. So solve Kaggle problems. Everybody understands Kaggle problems. Everybody appreciates Kaggle problems. Solve Kaggle problems. That's a good place. Or Analytics Vidya hosts hackathons. Participate in hackathons. Yeah. So or if, let's say, in your current organization you have some data that you can use to build some solutions, use that to do it. Okay. That's also something which you could do. Oh wow. So a lot of questions. Okay. I'm going to skim through a few. I've done diploma, computer science engineering, computer science. Any day, for somebody who's come from a computer science background, it's always useful. It can always help. Yeah. So computer science background is good to move into the field of data science. Again, MTech in computer science. I mean, go for a data science role, guys. I mean, if you have a computer science background, go for a data science role. The choice is yours. Which company you'd want to apply? I mean, or what kind of a role, or what kind of a company you'd want to get into? A services company or a product company. It doesn't matter. If you have a computer science experience, use that to your advantage because it really helps. How many projects can you do? So 2 at least, right? I just mentioned that 2 projects at least. No, so if you have 12 years of software experience, I think you will not be considered as an entry level data science role. You will be applying for definitely a um, if not a senior data scientist role, you'll be applying for a data scientist role at least, because senior data scientist is essentially expected to lead data science projects. I'm afraid with our data science knowledge, we'll be able to lead projects. So I think the best thing to do is to join in as a data scientist and then move into a senior data scientist role eventually. So yeah, that's how I look at it, Pradeep. So and as far as salary is concerned, the field of data science is good enough to uh, the field of data science is not that cruel, at least. So they make sure that your salaries are intact or they give you a slight bump. So don't worry about the field of data science. Data scientists generally earn slightly higher than the rest of the group. So even if you're moving in, so it's not going to be that big of a problem. So it's okay, Pradeep. Deepak Sharma just bombarded me with a laundry list of questions. Deepak, I think I've answered a few of those questions. Okay. I have 2.5 years of experience in insurance sector. Which role should I aim for? I mean, if you have 2.5 years of experience in the insurance sector, I don't know what you were doing in the insurance sector, but if you were I don't know, if you were working on the business side, then that's okay. I'm non-technical background. Okay, so if you're from a non-technical background, I don't think it matters. You can apply for anything. Just keep your options open. If your overall experience is just 2.5 years, you're still very, very new into the industry. So keep your options open, Arun. I don't want you to, honestly, I don't want you to shut your doors on anything. Keep your options open. Yeah. Okay. Business development manager with 12 years of experience and looking forward to building a career in data science. Can we target industry based? You can. I mean, definitely you can target industry based jobs. Absolutely, yes. But again, the question is what kind of industry are you looking at? If you are a BDM, I don't know which industry you were a part of, then if you're a part of a particular industry, then I think which is, and if you could move into the same industry, if you would have opportunities in the same industry, then why not? Industry-based domain-based jobs are always much better because you already have experience in it and you will be able to move the needle. I think for a lot of people, when you're moving into the field of data science, one of the things that I'd like to suggest is try to move into a data science role within your organization for the ones who already have jobs. Try to move into a data science role within your current organization than trying to jump out into another company. The reason being, it's much easier to move in within an organization than across organizations. So if there is a flexibility to move into a data science role within your organizations, try doing it, because that really will, even if that means it's going to set you back by a year, it's okay. I think it's worth taking that risk, because if you move into the field of data science within your own organization, then it'll definitely then it's much easier to then move out into another company, because you already have data science experience if you want to move into another organization. So try doing that. So the same holds for you as well, Syed. So if you can move in within your organization as a data scientist, or if you can apply some of the data science concepts within your current organization, that'll be awesome. Then by the time you move out, you would have already had some data science experience under your belt. Hence it could help. Okay. Currently, okay. Dwaraganathan, I think I've answered your question. At this particular point, okay, cool. So Swapna, an ETL developer, which role fits me? I enjoy ETL, but would like to expand into DS. Good. Nice that you have that clarity that you like ETL. Then try and target the role in between. Try and target learn data science. I think your love to ETL and interest in data science. Good that you're mentioning that you'd want to expand into data science and not switch into data science. What that means is it will make you a nice complete package sort of a person. You understand machine learning and data science. You understand ETL. That makes it a very good package. So I stay open. don't shut your doors on any one particular role. I think the apt role for you will be ML engineer. In a lot of organizations, that's the best role that you would want to move into. Um, so yeah, I think that's looking at your looking at your interest in both the fields. I think that's the best role that you'd want to move into. What's a typical data science duration? Depends from company to company. Again, if you are in a if you're in a consulting company, 3 to 4 months, 3 to 5 months is the typical average duration. 3 months in general. But if you're in a product company, then that might take much longer. So on an average, you want to stick to a data science problem with around 3.5 to 4 months. Not more than that. Can I get a data science job in European countries? I'm not particularly sure about that, Anurag. I think there are a lot of opportunities available for sure. I don't know how easy is it to move in there. So I'm not particularly sure about that. I unfortunately cannot counsel you on that. Last few questions. Badrinath, could you let us know about the experienced people, those who have more than 12 years of experience in Microsoft, which role is best for them? See, in my team, right, I do have people who have more than 12 years of experience. I myself have around 8 years of experience. So there are people with 12 years of experience who are almost at my level. It's okay. I mean, it depends on, it's not that they've moved into the field of data science, hence they've had to kind of take that step back a little. So people with 12 years of experience generally are in senior roles or equivalent roles. Slightly senior roles. So as a data scientist with 12 years of experience, you should either be a senior data scientist or a principal data scientist in an organization. You're not a regular you're not a data scientist individual contributor. You can either be you could be a senior data scientist, principal data scientist, or a data science team manager with 12 years of experience. So you'd be one of those. Okay. As you're a senior person, I have a GMAT score also. I'm a little bit confused. Should I go for a 1-year MBA or data science? As I've seen a lot of people after MBA coming to data science field. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your interest. It's not about which is a better field. What do you want to do? If somebody wants to do MBA, their ambitions are extremely different from people who want to do data science. Data science is a field that is directly associated with businesses. So is MBA. MBA is probably not as technical as data science is. For someone like me who likes math, for someone like me who loves logic, and someone like me who enjoys that client conversations, I would pick data science. Who likes talking about insights and business insights and things like that, I'd like to be a data scientist. If you do MBA, you're not just specializing in one particular field. You're opening up your opportunities to a lot more. You could do strategy consulting. You could join companies like, let's say, your MBB, McKinsey, Bain, and Boston Consulting, or any of these strategy consulting companies, where data scientists will help you to solve a particular problem. So you are more of a open-end. So you are not specializing yourself into one particular field or one particular technology. Data science is a technology. Or when I say technology, I mean it's an IT business overlap. There's an IT business overlap in the field of data science. With MBA, it's only a pure business role. So you decide how do you want to get into. Do you want to do a data science role, or do you want to do data science, or do you want to do business? So if you're associated with IT and business, then that's a different charm as opposed to strictly being on the business side of things. So I think the decision is strictly based on what you like. Both ways, data science. I can tell you one thing for sure: data science is really data science as a field is on the move. You see so many data scientists outside today. When I joined the field of data science, there's absolutely no one. I mean, I knew the number of data scientists in Hyderabad more or less. So there are very few data scientists that were available. Today, there's so many data scientists outside today. So the field is on the move and on the rise. That thing for sure is. If you're doing a 1 year data science master's degree course, honestly, that might not add a lot of value. Because I think 1 year master's degree course, they don't go well together. If you want to do a pure play, uh, if you want to do a master's course, I think it's worth doing a master's course, a full-fledged master's degree, 2 years part-time course. There are a lot of companies, a lot of universities that are offering that for you. So you can, um, that's what you could do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.